We'll be going live soon. Yes, I think we are live now. We are live now. So welcome everyone. Once again, this is Shailesh, your host from NZ World News, bringing positive awareness. But today we are going to talk about the series that we started about a couple of years ago, all about emotional well-being. And today, once again, I want to insist the fact that the world that we are living in is a very, very emotional world because we react, we act very fast. So emotional well-being is very important for me and for everyone in this room, and I guess everyone who is listening and will be joining very soon to listen. So emotional well-being, I started this series, we are all one. That's the first protocol of emotional well-being because we thrive on each other's emotions. So let's face it, we are all one, sailing in the same boat of emotions. And so I wanted to today invite our esteemed guest today, who is none other than Mrs Universe Malaysia 2022, Amanda, all the way from Malaysia, who is going to talk about a topic that we always select on emotional well-being. There are different topics that matters to our emotional well-being, and today's topic is none other than, which is very much suited, very much what Amanda is all about, empowerment. So we are going to talk about women empowerment today, and we have got a very good host today, Hayley, with me, who is also a part of my now NZ World News. So we are going to also ask her and to support me, assist me, because today's topic is not about men or men empowerment, but it is woman empowerment. So it relates to women. But one thing I need to insist here, even though it's a woman empowerment, men has to be involved. So that's why the empowerment comes from all the surroundings, men, women, anything around us. So I have the pleasure today also with these two beautiful women who is going to dwell on the topic women empowerment. So welcome, Amanda, on this live show of women empowerment, and I really appreciate your being here to talk on this topic. And who should I ask? I was always questioning myself, a person who has achieved, or a person who is yet to be achieving, or a person who is going to achieve. But it doesn't matter. This is all about Amanda. This is all about the woman empowerment she's going to talk about today. That it doesn't matter whether you achieve or you don't achieve, but what matters is you breathe and you live the moments every single minute, every single second, and that affects our emotional well-being. So we are going to straight get into it. I'll first ask Hayley to introduce herself, what a little about her, so that all the audiences who are listening, they also know what Hayley is. And she is going to assist me, as I said, and support me in today's event of women empowerment. Over to you, Hayley, and then we will get straight into Amanda.
Oh, just a quick one, because I can be
Yeah.
long. little bit about me besides being a new co-host. I am an artist, fashion designer, dog trainer, and general multifaceted human being with too many passions and not enough time.
Yes.
I'm very much in the process of building myself up after a pretty crazy existence of not being able to do a lot and do what I'm after. And I'm really excited to hear what Amanda has to say, because I think a lot of it can help me in my own empowerment and help me when it comes to building my own career. So I'm very keen to hear what you have to say, Amanda.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. So thank you so much to that beautiful introduction, Hayley, who is going to assist me today, as I said. So now we are going back straight to Amanda. Amanda, she's all the way from Malaysia, and she is the recent and the very hot, fresh, off the boat, as we say, Mrs Universe 2022. So welcome, Amanda. And this topic, how important is this topic to you? First, I want to ask you this: woman empowerment.
It's really, I think it's just like a Bible to have it every woman, if you ask me. It's like a tag ongoing, a tagline you must have in every one of us. Because I think you see, like I shared last about myself, that as a woman, you have so many roles to play.
Yes.
Right. I think it's something that simply I embrace and I appreciate it. You can be a mother, you can be sister, you can be daughter, you can be a friend. There's so many beautiful things, and you can be a wife, But beside that, it should not just limit to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because precisely there's so much of role, I think we actually really should thinking about supporting each other, embracing each other, and also helping each other to grow. I think this is really very important, especially with the society right now, that there's so many talented people around. Just now you see what Haley said, there's so many roles that she played, like like for me. I can be a professionally a private banker, but because of my passion, I like pageant so much, I'm actually also into this platform. And why I'm into this platform is because hoping that whatever that I believe in, that I advocate, I'm able to inspire and also transpire to other people that they can have the same feeling as well. So that's why for me, I think woman empowerment is not just about how big a role you carry or whatever. Everyone can be empowerment, regardless whatever role that you carry, what occupation that you are in. If you know something, you have the knowledge in you, then you're able to share with the rest and let others to learn as well. I think that is empowerment, and that is very important.
So do you think that empowerment is a word that you said it's like a Bible? So the word empowerment, where does it originate from? What do you think should come from? Where? Within, outside, around us? What is your first kind of empowering thing that a human should have? What people don't understand, empowerment means what? Or how do I get empowered by myself or by my surroundings? What would you say?
If you ask me, my first empowerment meaning, I don't know about the rest, but for me is I would think of first thing is you empower yourself means you must love yourself. You must have self-love first.
Sure.
With that, you're able only to love others or the rest. Without loving yourself, without taking care of yourself, and without whatever motivation in you, you couldn't move. We can have a lot of big words, a lot of big things to say, but without that, you were not able to empower yourself. This is one thing that's where I've been sharing with a lot of people. Self-love is about you taking care of yourself. You cross-check and balance your emotions and your feeling at all the time. Whether are you doing things at something that you were passionate about, you're happy to do it, or just because you asked to do it and you compromise to do it. It's very big different things. You see, like for invitation to come to talk, I don't think it's an obligation, it's a task. It's something that is in me. I'm so happy and enjoy sharing it. That is what I call, it's something in you to manifest out. So that's why I call self-love is very important. That's where the empowerment is very important, that people can feel you are you, because we are human being after all, with emotion, with feelings.
Absolutely.
Something I'd be interested to know, just because I haven't always had a lot of faith in myself. I find that the faith other people have had in me has been the driving force between me pushing myself. They've been the ones pushing me. If it was up to me, I would probably be so much further back. I wouldn't have had faith to create the commissions and so forth that I do. So I would be interested to know if you feel like the faith that others had in you is what helped push and propel you forward, or whether you felt like you had the self-love first and you were the one pushing and you were the one trying to prove yourself to everybody else.
Yeah, it's blessed if, let's say, the rest will have the faith in you, like I say, Haley. But the first thing is you must have that in you as well. I know sometimes it's becoming very doubtful about ourselves, but you must have that in you first, so that whatever you do, that you're able to as well at the same time to let people feel it. And that's why the people around you, your family member or your friends, they were having that faith in you because they're seeing you that you are trying at your very level best. This is actually, I'm trying to talk about this is very much on my experience that I shared before during on my Real Connection episode, that, during my pageantry, a lot of people are like thinking you are come from corporate world. You don't know anything about pageant. It's my first time. It's why I'm like reading and seeing so much, doing so much research. Reading by execution is two different stories. So when I wanted to do it, and I must have the feeling that I want to do it first. That's where I have the initiative wanted to do it first. So I guess perhaps the feeling of what I wanted to do is so strong that the people around me, I'm like, I think you may can accomplish something. Why not you just go and do it? That's why I think the faith that other people giving to you, that's why a lot of people that thought that I'm waiting for people to giving me that yes sign or that faith. But I'm trying to tell a lot of people, if you yourself, you don't have that, it's very hard to able to make other people to have faith in you as well. Because you must believing in that first, and which is very, very, very important. Yeah.
I thought it was really special because I did listen to the Real Connections interview that you did today. And you were talking about your mother and the faith that she had in you. And it reminded me of my own as well, even back when I didn't have faith in my drawing and my mum was telling me how amazing it was. It was her words and her she gave me so much inspiration to continue, and she gave me some really valuable advice, and I would love to hear what kind of multi-generational advice she's given you that you would like to pass down to your own daughter.
Yeah, it's she's like, she know that I'm actually the black sheep in the family and being very unconventional. So yes, that's right. You like to think out of the box, your creativity level perhaps will be different from the rest, So one thing that I believe, she always tell me that, if you know that you can do well, you just go and do it. She won't be that. She's a very shy person, completely different character of me, if you ask me. Very introvert, very reserved. But one thing she will say, I will give you 110%, more than 100% support. I know what you're doing. I know what you want to do. Just go and do it. So, just with that, I'm like, okay, Mom, that's it. I will just go and do it. It's the kind of, I would say, the blessing that given it's already far win than most other people. I would consider myself lucky, but anyone, even that don't have that, as long as you have some, believe in you, you should really do it. And if as long as you believe that it's good, just keep persistent and do it, because somehow, someday, if whatever progress, it will just shine and it will just have the result. So that's what I share with a lot of people, because like for me, I don't like to, every time we just sharing a lot of things. That's why my mom was like, what are you trying to do? What are you doing this day? You are so busy. So, but I would just share one or two words. So she got a picture, then she would just say, okay, just go. Then I would just perhaps, roller coaster all the way out.
Sorry to barge in between. One question comes to my mind quickly is, do you think that comfortable talking with your own people, whether it's mom, whether it's family, whether it's friends, and having that same expectation when you talk with strangers? So empowering yourself is one start and one starting point. However, expect empowering from your own people is another. And then empowering from the third party, which you don't know, and the strangers. Do you think that expectations make you a little bit, in your experience, was challenging, difficult, and how do you relate to that?
Oh, definitely, because it's not easy to share. You see, like with your closest friends and your family member, you may can share everything so real about yourself, no sugarcoating and
Yeah.
nothing mask up. You can just share it outright. So if I find this, especially after when I have my title, I actually one thing is very good, Shailesh, you actually brought it up. I want people to know about me as being myself, and if I would have like a beautiful story, like I say, a experience or lesson to share, I think I just have to be open up and share it. It took a while actually before, usually I would just very briefly to talk about those people will come to know that, yes, I have a failed marriage, I'm a single mom and career a woman. But after that, I'm actually tend to like a bit more. So I would like share a bit more inside of that. Okay, how do I come to that? The experience of it, the journey of it. And I find it, people able to resonate with me. And right now, if you ask me, do I able to share it with anyone, stranger? I think, yes, I could. And I would able to elaborate in very detail. Because back then, when I'm at the audience seat, when I listen to speaker to speak, sometimes I do have a lot of in-depth questions. How do you got to that? How do you achieve that? During that journey, how do you feel? I think that is very important because that's a precise, feelings, that experience that you are able to reconnect with those who might have the similarity. And can you imagine? It's just that one thought, one small thought that they feel it that, all right, whatever I'm experiencing right now is completely normal before the breakthrough. So I just need to hang in there for more. And I think that is very important. So right now, if you ask me openly to speak with anyone in terms of stranger, I think it's not an issue because it's not just about my experience anymore. I will think this every woman experience and every woman journey that we to come together. Because when one share, you will relate to the 10 and the rest, the multiplying effect will be there.
Sure. No, that's amazing. So yeah, it's a great thing to understand, like empowerment, woman empowerment we talk about in the society, in the community, and we don't know how to make it work for every single individual, every single moment, every single situation, because our expectations is also one of the things that we have. Everybody comes with an expectations, and empowerment is something that you have to forgive and forget and everything, but just make sure that we all are human, we all are one, and we all needs that support every single moment. So in that atmosphere, and that what you have done so far, coming out of your shell, as you said, but also somebody like your mom supported you and empowered you, was also one of those starting points of your journey. And then now you are here, I am speaking to you for you to share to all the audiences who are listening. So you are empowering them as well, which is awesome. So I wanted to go to the next kind of a segment where Hailey probably have got a few questions about the doubts and stuff that she can elaborate more on that. Hailey, you wanted to ask something about that.
Yeah, I was curious actually. Obviously, coming from the background and the baking background that you do, you probably didn't have a whole lot to do with public-facing roles. So I can only assume it must have been really scary getting into pageantry, where you become this public figure that everybody's looking up to. You're on stage. Is there a challenging moment that you came to that made you almost want to give up, or it gave you a lot of crazy anxiety? I've done a lot of stage work myself, and I remember initially I'd be standing in the wings just shaking, so scared, but as soon as you get out on stage it's all gone and you're fine. But it doesn't always work that way. I'd be really interested to know what kind of challenging experience you had and what you did to overcome that. If there's any little words that you used, any empowering kind of quotes you said to yourself. Yeah, I'd love to hear.
It's like I do have that moment, seriously, Hailey, to be honest with you, especially I think for me, it's not the stage fright at the time, at the moment, but it's about when you're nearing to the final, it's about maybe 2 or 3 days about the final. My daughter get admitted to hospital, I can tell seriously. That give me that, I almost like, oh my goodness, is that really right for me to do, But thank God she's all right after the 3rd day. So then I will be like, have to check in and have to a lot of preparation. And of course, you have to so much talent to prepare. Can you imagine when you preparations on practicing, you have to repeat doing it? That's for some of the hiccup of the performance. When the hiccup of the performance or something performance, I don't perform at my peak, I almost literally, I wanted to give up. Simple as that. I'm not talking about something, very complicated. We're just talking about the experience of the performance itself, because it can be so smooth and so nice, and it can be go haywire all the way, and your performance too. It can be have that kind of risk. So how you're gonna manage it? So where I couldn't perform, I'm really thankful that I have actually my coaches are with me. So they know that when you've been through that, what the stuff that you need. So she's actually ensuring me, just telling me it's fine, as long as if you can't, you must tell us, Amanda, the stage is yours. Only you know what you are doing. And with your confidence, whatever mistake, you just have to pull it through and finish the performance. You can't say, hey, halfway through, I can't complete and I just walk off from the stage. So that experience itself also given me some realization. That if you want to do something, be professional, complete it. It's not about yourself, it's about the audience watching your show as well. You have to just do it, just complete it. You cannot just say no in halfway through because the performance don't go along your way and you just walk away. No, just complete and finish the whole thing. So where I know I have that preparation of that during my final, I more or less I can gauge. So if I know this mistake happened, I'm gonna use the other way around, that I have to do it. But thank God that everything coming smoothly. Yeah, it coming smoothly, and perhaps it's add on with my own element at that night. I'm telling myself, I'm so scared, Hayley, I can tell you. I'm like, it's a performance, it's not just for myself, it's for my friend who come and support me. I want them to know me. So if there's a chance, I'm going to show you that when I complete the performance, my smile, the face, the expressions, a lot of people thought it's a showmanship. Actually, it's not. It's the kind of relief that I'm so happy. I just want to show it to my friends. So that's where the whole experience, if you ask me, just despite by the performance experience itself, I have been experienced so much in me already, the emotions, stuff and everything. And that's where I learned is how so much that you don't really like it. If you take on the challenge, you just have to finish it, no matter what.
I think even if you do mess up, the bravery to just continue and show that joy, I think that's really special as well.
You just have to do it somehow, You just have to it's not about you yourself anymore. You are doing a performance. You are actually letting the audience to see. So if you not able to manage it, the rest of the 500 people were not able to enjoy the show. So what's that? Just carry on and just do it. So I guess after all, when you have that, you break through one part, so the rest of whatever upcoming, whether it's become 1,000 or 2,000 audience, to you it doesn't matter anymore.
No, I totally get this. So here is a male perspective question, Amanda, for you. I'm being male, I wanted to ask you, do you often come across males who provide you with legitimate opportunities, but may have some ulterior motives and an agenda? Or how do you navigate these situations? And what are the ways that men can be good allies? What do we need to do to engage and inspire more male advocates, basically? How would you?
This is a very controversial.
Well, I'm talking from a male perspective, and thanks to Hayley. So,
it's actually something nice I struggle with a lot as well. I actually get some very legitimate male photographers who want to work with me.
Correct.
But they throw in flirty connotations and comments, and it becomes really hard to navigate because you want to be professional with them, but they're trying to go for something more. Or do you go with that? How do you navigate that?
Wow, this is really a street smart questions. I like that, but I like that a lot because this is, for me, they're working in a male dominant, environment with my clients, with everything. Definitely you will face that. I can tell you, Hayley, attractive woman, beautiful woman, that definitely will get that. I used to like so tied up and so serious. I just, I don't care. I just want to work things professionally. When they're trying to say something like that, I just try to brush it off and move on. And of course, you see, again, different experience giving you different growth and things. So throughout the years working as a private banker and meeting with so many people, exchanging a lot of info and a lot of sharing as well. So I noticed that actually being an attractive woman is a gift. Embrace that gift, right? Embrace that gift. So somehow, some people can be a bit more flirty. To me, it's in your words. If you want to flirty in your words, that's fine. We can be playful, but not anything than that. So usually, especially I have some of my clients will say, oh, Amanda, I like to do a business with you, but other than can we catch up for a dinner sometimes? I say, yes, sure, why not? And if you know that they're already married or whatever, would you like to invite your wife along? That would be nice. Let's say we can catch up together. I mean, if not, by one dinner, you know him better, you will know whether this person is trying to have ulterior motive or not. To me, this is what I learned throughout the years. I gained a lot of good clients that turn into good friends. I would say this becoming my strength. So when I work with them, I just share that, just telling them what the aspiration that I have, the work that I wanted to do. So when they see that I'm so passionate in my work and I like so much of things, naturally they will know that, Amanda, you want to work with her, you have to be as passionate as her to work along her. So if other than that, you say, okay, one dinner may be fine, but during the dinner, I was still continuing, perhaps trying to value add to talk about my work. So if other than that, you want to try to be funny or whatever, I think it's kind of a bit hard already. So if you ask me, this is the comment that I get. You ask of my friends or my client around, they will say, Amanda is very smart. She knows how to say no in a way that do not offend you. And you get the message. So that's why every time I just share with, along with my younger friends, lady friends, I will share with them. I say, it's also very much depends how you carry yourself. A little bit of flirt is fine because I would think that is I feel flattering that people think that I'm attractive. So when it's a bit more than that, then we'll say, perhaps I think this is not really some of the missions or project that we're gonna work on it. So if there is something that we could work together next time, but perhaps not now. So got them thinking. They have to go back, have to think 3 times harder. Am I saying something right or wrong? That God, she's saying that. So if you ask me, it's not that difficult after all. So it's you become an individual yourself. So be it, if you ask me, there's not so much on gender. When I'm dealing with my friend being like, I talk to Shailesh, as I don't see him as a man anymore. It's individually a person. So if you have that already, I think anything you can overcome. That shouldn't be any issue.
Yes. Hopefully one day we won't have to be talking about male or woman empowerment. It will just be empowerment.
Exactly. That's where I was trying to understand, in a field of what Amanda is in today, a public field, where she is a public figure and where people know, knowingly, unknowingly, whether they meet her personally or not, but they know her through social media. They know a little bit about that person. And that becomes a little bit of, kind of empowerment for everyone. That, yes, as she said rightly, you feel flattered, you feel good when you are doing something. That's not abnormal. That's normal for a human being, because that's who we are in everyone we are. But I guess I was trying to say, how do we advocate men to understand that every field, whatever field, you can't get into any field and every field that you are born for. But whatever field you get into, don't expect that other fields are also your field. So sometimes people
That's
think
right.
that way. People take advantage of that, thinking that I want this also and I want that also. Well, you can have desires, you can have dreams, but then what is meant to be will always come to you. So don't have to worry about those things. So
That
no,
is
so thanks very much for doing that. It also gives me a little bit of, as from a male perspective, that how do a males can actually, this was Haley's beautiful question. That's why I thought it resonated with me 100%, which I was about to ask, but then she put it in rightly. Like, what are we going to do more to engage and inspire, these male who can advocate this field, these people? Because, appreciation is one thing, and then continuing appreciating is also another thing. But empowering that appreciation is the most important thing. And to empower, there is no ifs and buts. There is only empowerment, as what Haley said. We won't be talking one day about male and woman empowerment. We'll be only talking about empowering. So we empower
correct.
kids, we empower male, we empower women, we empower youth, we empower everyone, basically. So now that's cool. So coming to the next, I wanted to ask you, like, then how do you see, what are the specific behaviors and traits that you have seen derail females' self-confidence and careers? What are the specific behavior and traits that you have seen derail females' self-confidence and careers? Is there anything, behavior and traits that you see that derail you as a female, derail you as your self-confidence, and as far as your career is concerned?
Mhm.
What do you think?
Oh, if you ask me, similarity on traits on every successful people that, if you ask me that I'm as a private banker, most of my clients, they are successful people, right? They are high net worth individuals. So there comes in all sorts of forms of male or female. One thing that I come to notice, they are really very good in a way that they pay attention to detail. Okay, detail is very important, meaning that they don't just look at only the big picture. They do sometimes would think whatever they do, they will look at the detail, meaning as in, if I would, let's say that today, when I'm talking about on the conversations with you, Shailesh, I will be also must know that beside whether, on the conversation that I'm conveying, who is the person that I would able to value at in terms of the individualistic.
Sure.
So they are very good at that in terms of, because they are all successful people at their field that they are doing. So if you ask me, they every time they ask themselves that.
But just one thing in there, since you have got two careers or two fields, say for example, your banking and mortgage career and another is modeling career, do you find people, when it comes to empowerment, do you find that some of the field, or like you have got male dominated, some of the field you have got female dominated? Do you think that as a woman, you have been less empowered when it comes to your banking field or when it comes to your modeling field? Do you feel that way? As you experienced that?
Oh, if you ask me, that is definitely, I would say a yes, because a lot of people, they might would think it's still a stereotype, especially in pageantry, right? A lot of people, of course, they know pageantry, but you have to demonstrate yourself as pretty is a means mandatory, that you have to look good. You have to dress well. You have to able to run your catwalk well. And of course, in the end, they will see whether you answer your Q&A well. Most of the time that, a very small group of people only that would realize that actually for pageantry, it's not just about looking at the faces by itself. And when they see the words empowering, how they're gonna do it and how they have to initiate to do it. So if you ask me, it will be something like that. So in terms of corporate field, if you ask me that lucky enough in banking industry, they would have a lot of equal opportunity, especially in Malaysia. They really encourage, even for like listed company, it's mandatory. They will must have a female director on board.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm sure like New Zealand, they will have similar things as well.
Yeah.
So the reason why they want it, because they want to encourage or the growth on the woman input in that. So I think they started to do it, but how to actually do it even better? That's why I would say that for my role, I hope to able to close the gap. So because actually for pageantry, it's more for, if you ask me, the way that you able to do is because you could have a voice that you can run a lot of activities that relates with all level people. It's not just about women itself. It's about everyone. Because you see, like my advocacy when it comes to education, it's not limited to men or women.
Men or women. Yeah, education is education. Yeah, everybody needs that education.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that, because I am very much passionate about education as well. So, and that's what we find, that when we talk about topics like empowerment and all that, it's all lack of education, I personally believe, rather than anything else, because they are close to their own custom and traditions of dealing with situations and things like that, not realizing that education, when you have education, then you know the other side of the coin as well.
Yes, that's so right.
Side of the coin, right?
The other side of the coin. That's so good at it. A lot of people don't know that giving you that wisdom, they're giving you the literature, how you were able to express yourself. And a lot of things happen that human being, how we're able to manage our emotion well and everything. Another thing we have to take note is you able to express yourself well. And how do you express yourself well? By education, you learn more, you read more, you know more. That's how you're able to relate and you're able to transform. And education is just a very basic words. It's
true.
You know, it's very, you can actually elevate or use that to evolve into some other thing else. That's why I keep telling people, even during younger days, I don't really understand why you need to push me to finish a course where I think street smart is more important, because I literally think that I'm quite smart myself back then when I'm younger, you know? So but after that, you realize that it's not about the education by reading book, passing the exam. It's about the journey, the realizations, the journey of when you're doing that. It giving you a lot of insight, a lot of reflections that you know. Correct. That's why I say empowerment right now, if you ask me, I don't limit to man or woman. It's broad spectrum. How you can become a better woman, carry your role, a better man, carry your role. I think if both can complement with each other, it will be so powerful and much better.
More can be achieved. Much more can be achieved. Right?
Can you imagine? We should helping each other, you know, in the first place.
I agree.
Speaking of achieving, obviously you're incredibly busy with everything that you do, being a single mother as well. I'd love to know how you balance all of it. How do you find time for yourself?
Oh, precisely because that I know that I don't have that privilege, have a lot of time. So that's where it's also given me the reference where I would like to do anything or make any decisions. Reference first, if I want to make, I will make that, and that's it. To me, it's about you how to strike the balance. So I would divide my time, especially on the weekends, is only for my daughter. So on the weekdays, I'll work doubly hard, like balance in terms of split my time. Perhaps the working hour 9 to 5 is for the office. And, perhaps another balance of the hour is for my pageantry prepared or advocate charity that I'm working. And precisely because of that, if you, like a lot of people mentioning that why these days there's so many people, they have no sense of direction and everything, because I think you must find a purpose, like for me. So being a single mom, a lot of people will say that I feel so small about myself, and it's the other way around. By having my daughter, I can share with you, Haley, it's like the light of my life and the purpose. Then because of her, that I wanted to accomplish so much, and I become bolder than before, and I become braver than before, and whatever that I want to do, I'm a mom and I think I can do it. If I can have her by my own, I can do a lot of things more. So it's the way that how you look at things. So if you ask me, the mind stability and things is because of her. I would say that it's giving me so much. So in the other way around, that I know how to manage my stuff even more, sharper mind and thinking. So that's where I am trying to share with a lot of people that when you have something in you, you're trying to have some balance. Time is forever not enough, if you ask me. It depends how you prioritize things to work at it. So this is the part that's very important.
I think it's maximizing that time too. Even if you have 5-10 minutes to just sit with yourself and have some time to yourself, you just maximize that as much as possible. It's like power naps.
Yes, and that is very, 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 very important. And that's why I say why I'm talking about detailing, looking at the detail, 5 to 10 minutes detail, look into things. And that is very important. Able to, despite under stressful environment, you know that you're not able to cope it, but compose yourself, give yourself a moment, 5 to 10 minutes to balance it, to do some self-reflect. And that is all good. And you'll find that the whole world of completely different anymore. And whatever you want to say that first, it might not be something that you wanted to say. And that is very important. If we able to do that, I think it will be so beautiful. You get what I mean? Yeah.
So just to elaborate on that, I wanted to ask you, so how do you become a role model for your child, for your kid? How do you empower her? And
wow.
This is something that I just came out of the blue. I thought that, what are the tips that you can give to become a role model to your child or to empower your child? So that when the child looks at you, yes, I'm been empowered by my mother, just like you were empowered by your mother.
Yes, of course. I would say that despite even you are working mom, you are stay-home mom, you still can empower and give a lot of insight to your child. If you ask me, kids these days, they are very smart. They're brilliant smart. They're looking at the environment, they compare with each other, they will see. So you see, if we don't keep ourselves at our toes, we don't presented that, more presentable, or we know what we want in life, the child can feel it as well. So
Sure.
when she born, and of course I read a lot and I look around, especially, I'm a single mom, what can I do? And I talk to a lot of people as well. So it's actually finally I have something that I myself must be interesting first. If I don't be interesting, how am I able to capture her to let her to look at me as a person, not just a mother, but as a person that she would want to look up to. That is very important. And a lot of mother maybe that thought that, that you are trying to, I want to do for your good, that started to nag you over. My way of doing things very unconventional, the other way around. I want to make myself interesting. When I have activities with her, sharing with her, she find it interesting too, and she's not feeling stressful. So that's where, during on my time, I pick up scuba diving, I learn free diving, and I learned a lot of different kind of activity. I start to play golf after she born. And and now, and I will say, what else I want to do more if I do well in corporate, in numbers, talking with people. Another thing I think is the biggest platform for me, able to make myself even more interesting, look at it different. That beside being her role model, I'm sure for the rest as well, it's a platform of Mrs Universe that I could go, because they believe in empowerment. So these are the things that, if you ask me, being a role model is try to make yourself a bit more interesting. We have to infuse that in ourselves so that people will find it, interesting to talk to you, and that it's not boring.
Yeah.
And I realized that as well. And I hope that I should know this much earlier. So that's where, even in any relationship or anything, it will be much more smoother, then you're less serious, but you make yourself interesting in a way. You still serious, but you have a bit more element to offer, and that is very good.
It's more dynamic, hey? Even the way that you move your hands, the expressions that you use, it's just you could be saying exactly the same thing as someone who might come across more boring, but just moving your hands more, a little bit more expression, a smile. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That can change the way that people just receive you. It's incredible.
Correct, because you want them to feel you, and that is moving, and that is very important. What is connections all about, and the bonding, be it with anyone, with strangers, friends, family, or even with your own kids. It's so, a lot of people have to know, especially I'm come from an Asian family. I think it's very different that people would like to keep everyone in place. They will ensure you're trying to do things well. So where I learned after being more exposure, be it with anyone, when you have that element that people want to listen to you, they feel you, somehow they will get what you mean. And that is much more important rather than just give instruction and anything. So if you ask me, role model is about how you enjoy being yourself, you're comfortable being yourself, and you are happy being yourself. And that is already a role model already. I'm not sure, Shailesh, I'm sure that you speak with so many speakers, and that is really important. You're comfortable with yourself. That's the best part. You can be anyone.
Absolutely. 100%.
Remove so much anxiety and fear as well. You're just yourself, who you are. What this will be, right? Something I would be interested to know is, what's the biggest barrier that you've had in terms of building up your career or building up your empowerment, and how you navigated that? I know we all have different barriers and so forth, but I think the way we overcome it can potentially be quite similar.
Yeah, it's actually not easy. It's tough because I started from beauty and wellness industry, very art industry as well, and I like arts personally. And of course, the mind will slowly run wild. And I noticed that and share with my friends as well. And of course, I also share in my previous episode. The one thing that I appreciate the most is once, thanks to my mom, that I got into banking, corporate, that made me grounded at the same time, that way I'm able to think and I'm able to elaborate things, trying to execute better. So with that, of course, I can't use to at first. I would say they're crying almost every day because you're not able to manage something. It's so alien to you, But I tell myself, a lot of people will say, Amanda, don't think that you have a pretty face, meaning you come to corporate, you're trying to be easy and funny to do that. But, I'm trying myself. I want to prove to the rest, I'm not just being by the look. That's where I work 3 times harder, working until midnight, almost every day. And in a very short period of time, like, when the started of the career with some of the fresh graduates, I use it in 3 years' time to accomplish a certain level of position in corporate. And I'm actually escalate all the way up into private banking. So if you ask me, it's about, might not be something that I interest at first, but when doing that, I found another versions of me, and I find interest in that. So right now, if you ask me to balance, in corporate and doing something arty, like doing pageantry is very art. I am able to do that and balance, and I could use these 2 platforms together, whatever that I have, to elevate it, to make the whole industry better. Because I want to tell people, arts and corporate, they're able to gel actually, and it work even better in a way. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Like
That's
that.
exactly what we were talking. Hi, Hailey. That's exactly we were talking about before, about how we can bring art and everything together.
One extreme to the other, the beauty and contrast.
The beauty and contrast.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So no, amazing. So in terms of empowerment, I wanted to ask you one little out of the box question here. Like, when you felt about empowering as a woman empowerment, what would you say? What are the real needs of empowering? Like, not just from the terms of gestures or connections or becoming friends or supporting in whatever you do. Not only that, but when it comes to economic, when it comes to your need of the hour, like, sometimes some people need certain financial support or financial help. And that economic empowerment, whether you get it from the environmental that you are living in or the support that you are getting in from the companies, corporates, agencies, whatever. But how important is that in your journey of empowering, that you think for empowerment, economic empowerment is also an important integral part of empowering everyone?
Yes, it is. If you ask me, we can't just talk on the paper, talk about art and pageantry
Yeah.
looking pretty, but you don't have a strong financial background behind to move and drive certain things. Charity, foundation that need all this to drive. Any evolutions, any new project, every new mindset, you need driver. What is a driver? The driver is, I very practically tell people, it's a finance behind or the dollar sign behind. Economy is just a very diplomatic terms where some of them entrepreneur, they will straight away say, tell me, you want to run this project, what is the profit revenue put on the paper that we can have? So how to justify that? And usually I'm trying to tell people, same as research, you need to have a lot of input efforts, burn your own money that involve a lot of things come there. So I'm doing this right now, especially even for myself on pageantry. Yes, I come in with my money. I believe that things that I'm doing, I'm actually, also promoting local designer the way they do it. But when promoting local designer, try to tell them, try to make yourself sustainable. How to be sustainable, joining my platform together, bringing another person to make the whole thing more interesting, not just talk about your fashion and clothes. Tell me about your story, how you started it, and bring the other person on board doing it. And where they see that drive is not just about you running a show for 3 hours and complete, that's it. And we just give credit to the sponsor. But what is that in the way to give and to value add? And I share with a lot of people with my title right now that I can do as a phases of a lot of corporate, when they do a corporate responsibility program, the CRS program, the CSR program, where they're doing a lot of activity on that. And I can present that where you donate a certain fund, right? And you can just make a donation to some of the charity organization that I will come in and to drive the show. Or when they see that the economic drive is there already, because when you're doing that, you have a purpose. It's exchanging. It's not just about you show face at the orphanage home, you do one more day activity, that's it. But what is the continuity behind? What is the sustainability program that we're going to do that? And you need people to speak about that. You need people to give you the influence on it. And who can do that? We can come and do that. That's why I say, be it just to be there and present, be there. We know what are the things that we could value add to drive it. And plus the value of we're able to sustain it. And not just by one time, but we're able to do it for long time. And I'm sure you can drive the economy already, because there's so many elements. If I look at it, the hierarchy, with just one pure intention where we link out all down together, there's so many things we can drive on together. I believe that you can see it, Shailesh. That's why we could connect and we can talk about it. Because this is the whole idea of why people wanted to do it. And somehow some people might think, this is not my expertise, I don't want to do it. And no, your expertise could come into value. And that's how I begin to work with a lot of designer or the good sponsors around me. That's how I actually work with them, to show them. It's just by being, sponsorship aside, there's one of the awareness program that we can bring in. From there, we can bring real business.
Yes.
And the real business from all these collaborations.
Absolutely.
So that's where I share with a lot of people how to make things interesting. And the world is evolving, especially after pandemic. You cannot do things just like before, being very siloed. You should do things in the level or combination with the element together and what you want to achieve. So there will be a lot of things can be done. It's interesting. If you ask me, so many things that we could do.
No, I agree totally.
Each other.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree and totally get what you're saying. So do you think from the economic perspective, do you think like the government should promote and other agencies or some support needs to be there for after pandemic and after COVID, whatever.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Very sure. Definitely. Because by behind doing it, that's why I say, like for us, we're trying to do a bit more, trying to mention this. It's not just about, the government just come in, they're just doing the pageantry just for the pageantry itself. But what other things? Yeah, we could actually share with them. You want to run pageant camp, we must have the organizations who know corporate enough. Then we have to drive the whole thing together. So can you imagine that? That's the reason why so many people, especially during this pandemic, why they couldn't sustain, because of one thing that you see. We can't run movie, we can do show, and the thing is drop off. But do you know that a lot of celebrity, they start to begin, they even have their real life show, they talk about things, they talk about themselves, and in fact, some of them they're sharing, they start to begin be like a lot of the a TikTok celebrity, whereby they they promote stuff. And you see, that is important. And when I look at that, we can actually do it even more if they're able to switch the role from from an actress, a celebrity, to the other way. We could even do it even more. We can even link it with corporate. How we're able to do it. So perhaps if you ask me, it could like a one step at a time, but we can do that. And by doing that, it will benefit it with a lot of people. We can make it even better. So that's why I say no one is actually completely strong in their own field. Through collaborations and through a lot of teamwork, you can run it even better. And that is the time that we cannot ignore that anymore. Previously we can. You are be so good, you can doing things on your own, you mind your own business. But now we can't. Yeah, we have to suppose to serve. You see, now today, Haley, you and me, we're sitting together. We have so much idea and sharing, rather than I just talking on myself. That is very important. That's why I stress on that a lot.
Beautiful.
It's constructive communication, humble, vulnerable. You're listening to each other. You're working together for a good cause. And for me, that's empowerment. The ability to confidently be humble and vulnerable and listen and learn from each other.
Yes, and from different field and from corporate. That's why I say not necessary corporate people are boring. I met a lot of corporate people. They're very interesting. Just that they perhaps on the interesting side, they have not, have not been highlighted yet. So if all this we could combine and do it together, it's beautiful. That's where we're really looking to able to do more. That's where I'm trying to advocate more on these things, that how we could do it better, because through that we can build a sustained economy. We can teach some of perhaps like long-time housewives that don't know what they do. They come to the platform. We offer them the opportunity to able to earn something for themselves as well. We teach them to do it. So that's the reason why I'm also currently running on the organization and trying to talk to some of the entrepreneurs where they have academy, trying to bring the single mom, or often to, besides education, to provide them the training, how to adapt into the real actual society. So to make them able to sustain themselves at the same time. So if you ask me, from this, if we just to highlight it better, we can do it on an individual by doing it as a program or a platform. It is doable also at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing after all.
Yeah. Yes, beautifully said. So all the listeners, you can see what Amanda is just saying. For empowerment, one of the key ingredients that I could take away from here is co-collaboration or collaboration or talking with people, and also like supporting, no matter what field you are in. Don't try to dwell into the labeling or identifying that you are in this field, I am in this field, you are this, I am that. It's not about that. It's about empowering. Wherever you are, wherever you are, whatever you are, what you need and what they need, everyone can come together and actually satisfy each other's needs, and also can achieve whatever you need to achieve by coming together, rather than doing it solely or alone by yourself. It's not what the new norm is. Probably it's going to be co-create, co-collaborate. Is that what I understood, Amanda, rightly? In terms of
spot on, definitely. Yes, spot on.
No, that's great. So I wanted to now we are just coming to the close. So I wanted to, before I close, Haley, if she wants to ask anything. And I have got the last question that probably Hallie has asked me to do it, but anyway, I'll do it.
Oh, it might be the same question.
Could be, yeah.
I did write a very long list.
Yeah. What's the key takeaway you have learned, Amanda, in your journey towards empowerment so far? I mean, this is never ending story because everybody needs empowerment at any state of your life, any age of your life, any situation, circumstances. You need this empowerment constantly, just like changes happen constantly. We need empowering ourselves constantly. So my question is, what's the key takeaway you have learned in your journey towards empowerment so far? And what's the key message you would like to share with other women who are listening or other men who are listening, as Hailey corrected me and you, I guess, that empowerment is only one empowerment, no men, no woman. So from that angle, what's your message that you would like to give to other women? And what is the takeaway that you have learned in your journey that towards empowerment so far?
So if you ask me, I would say that empowerment is something beautiful. Embrace that. A lot of people might thinking that, pushing the boundaries and challenge yourself is about that. I guess that is a big words. Yeah, I like to use simple words in my understanding and things so that they can feel it better. Empowerment, it's about you do not give up. Do not give up and keep trying. And from that journey itself, you will have a lot of different other achievement come along the way. And that is big thing, because if a lot of people will say, now how can you define never give up? And never give up in a way that you yourself must believe that you wanted to do it first. Be it you're able to do it or not, because somehow during your journey, you believe you want to do it, you don't want to give up, you work on it. You would have that initiative. You ask and you reach out. Like I share with a lot of people, do not keep it to yourself. Share with the rest, share with the people around. Somehow you find it so easy to have that. That's why I say empowerment, it's powerful. It's so simple. Look at it, so simple. It's just like, asking you to do more, accomplish more. But it can be very powerful at the same time, because when you're together, the empowerment is already can achieve much more greater than that. A lot of things is actually started from that. And why is that? Talking about woman empowerment a lot, and not men, right? Beside that, previously. It's because I believe that, there's the thing that for women, a lot of times they thought that they need validation from the rest. But somehow come to a point you have to tell yourself, you must have your own validation first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. When you have that own validation of yourself, that's where you're comfortable and you believe in yourself. That's where everything, it will become so great and so grateful with that. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I don't know what to say, Amanda. You have been absolutely an insightful delight about empowering and empowerment. What do you think, Hailey? I can summarize later, but just tell me.
I don't even need words. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I totally agree with you, Hailey. This is just amazing conversation that we are having today, and what an amazing insights that we are getting for a woman empowerment. So people who are listening, everyone, anyone, I could gather from this last statement that Amanda made is, self-love, but also you are not alone in this. That's one of the key ingredients. So I feel, if I have to summarize, and correct me if I'm wrong, Hailey, feel free to barge in, Amanda. Caring, sharing, and collaboration. These are the three words that I take it from here as our empowerment at any given point of time. First, you have to care for whatever as a human we are. Then we got to share, because we are a person who can share anything and everything that we would like. And then we can co-create and co-collaborate. So I think empowerment is not just identified by gender or by title or by professions or by field, but empowerment is all about as a human that we can care, share, and collaborate. Does that summarize it, Helly? What do you think?
I think those 3 words are perfect.
Yeah. Amanda, any last word that you would like to add and to
Wow.
all my audiences so that we can then end this session over here?
Yeah, I just want to share one thing that throughout that my journey where I learned, I like to observe people around me and different occupations. What are they doing? So take note of those people that really enjoy their job, that really like it. Be it you are just a janitor, be it you are just a waitress, chef, or whatever. You find people that doing it with love and with a lot of feeling in their work. So I like to actually see people doing that, and actually from that I learned a lot at the same time. So it's not about how glamorous you look, how like you dress up presentable but empty inside. That's why I say, be it you see a lot of women, I like, especially the janitor in my office. She's done her job so well. She do everything so well. I learned because this some of the small detail thing, and make me realize that enjoy what you do and love what you do. If you are not, change it, because it's giving you the time that you need more to do already. So with that, I think it will be something that you feel it, and then you have that is really perfect after all.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, with that, I urge all the audiences, if you have any doubts or self-doubts, or you want to think that you can't empower others, just don't think about that, because I think what Amanda has summarized very nicely. First, love yourself. Automatically, everything flows from there. Does that make sense? And then
Yes.
you can empower yourselves and look up to people like she looked up with her mother. You may have find someone like mother who will empower you. So there is many humans are there in the world who would like to have positives, which is what my whole show about this is all about: positive, how I can spread positive awareness. But people talk about only negatives, and people talk about I can't do, I'm stuck. But here I am finding people who are talking about positivity, talking about empowering, and which is more people are there. So you just have to find one. That's it.
Yeah.
Putting a little effort. Does that make sense?
Oh, you see, I'm in Malaysia and both of you are in New Zealand, and we are talking right now. What boundary is that? What is that? This is a breakthrough already. Like I say, it's buildable,
Yes, I totally agree with you, Amanda. Yeah. No, thank you so much, Amanda, for doing this. And I hope you will come to my NZ World News channel once again with some different topics and different themes that we always bring. We always like your positive approach. We always like your positivity that you share with everyone. And your positivity is like flowing at the moment from Malaysia to New Zealand, and maybe from here to anywhere. So I would love to have you back once again. But thank you so much once again for your great time that I had with you and the insights. And I hope Haley enjoyed it as well. So I want to ensure that Haley can close our conversation in the end. Final message from Haley as our co-host. Haley, do you want to add something?
Everything that you have said is beautiful, and I think even if you don't feel like you have a lot to share when it comes to empowering other people, I think just giving your simple support, I think that alone is empowering. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are, just supporting one another. I think that is ultimately what's important. And like I said earlier, support, vulnerability, and just compassion for each other is ultimately what's empowering. I think that's
So final words, Amanda, give some final words to my audiences for my news channel. You want to add something about my news channel? Say something.
Yeah, I think like for Shailesh and Haley, you really said it very well. Just like support each other, like giving compassion. It's about supporting each other, help each other to grow, help each other to find each other. That is
that's
somehow it's actually it's helping each other. It's find help each other to find each other, because somehow you might get lost in somewhere, and your friends will help you. So that's why I think it is important. It's about come to each other, work hand in hand, and achieve something greater together. Really, I can't wait to see all this.
All right. Okay. Once again, thanks very much, Amanda. And as you heard, Amanda, that please support our channel, please support us, and we can bring more and more topics, but more and more beautiful humans like Amanda. And Amanda can come back again with all different ideas and topics that she is very passionate about. And this, remember, this is all her experiences we are talking about. We are talking about real experiences with real humans, and what more we can get more and more of one human, many multiple things they do. So don't ever restrict yourself by identity crisis or by labeling crisis. One human has got multiple. We have got here Hailey doing multiple things. We have got Amanda here doing multiple things. What more do we want? So this is, for me, a simple message from my side, my contribution, that women empowerment and women entrepreneurs or women who are empowering not to each other, but also empowering other women and other people around them and surrounded by them. So thank you once again so much. Bye for now, all listeners. Please tune in once again. And thank you so much for listening to our show.